One of hip-hop radio pioneers digs in the crate to present you some classic hip-hop. The Basement with Mike Allen.
Listen. I'm Mike Allen. This is One Extra. DJ Scott La Rock and KRS-One on South Bronx. And JVC Force, Strong Island, Long Island. So this weekend it's about One Extra's Hip Hop Weekend and a look back to the days. There's a lot more I'm going to be telling you about later on. But really, look on this next 2 hours as my side of the story. I'm going to play you some music now from the guy who promised me, hand on heart, that he only writes his rhymes at 3 o'clock in the morning because God's got more time to be with him. His name is Doug E. Fresh. Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew, the show. Funny, Inspector Gadget, it all worked. It worked on so many levels. The audio dynamic of hip-hop in the mid-80s included clever cartoon-esque characters such as the show from Dougie. And they were funny, well-observed, they were ear-friendly. And it just moved across the other side of the tracks to social commentary from Run DMC, and it's like that, and that's the way it is. A blunt, social observation. It was the most dynamic music form of the moment. And nothing appeared to be challenging that situation. This music was a direct reflection of Western society. It was almost like the evening news with beats and rhymes. It's The Basement. I'm Mike Allen, and it's real hip-hop, my man.
One of hip-hop radio pioneers digs in the crate to present you some classic hip-hop. The Basement with Mike Allen.
Down in the basement on the One Extra Hip Hop Weekend, I'm Mike Allen, and we just heard a track from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Genius Rap. You might recognize that if you've been listening to the radio and caught a recent track from Mariah Carey. Yeah, we weren't the only ones doing the plundering, it's happening back to us. In that film Electro Rock, which you might remember, it featured Africa Bambaataa and a cast of b-boy breakdancers and Max and Dave from the hard rock soul movement. Everyone on the project was heavily committed, and apart from my flowery shirt, it was well received. I never got a copy of the film, but I did get a copy of this. This is Africa Bambaataa.
The Basement.
I'm Mike Allen, and you're probably thinking to yourself, I've heard of him, sort of, well, in Fridays and Saturdays in 1984, somebody gave me the chance to open up a new music show, and I was looking around thinking, what can I play? What can I play that's different? What can I play that somebody else hasn't played 10 minutes back? And I don't want to be bored, and I started picking up hip-hop. I started listening to some of the earlier stuff, which wasn't quite for me. I needed something that was a little bit more spiky. And I started putting it together in a way that resembled painting, because the sounds seemed to appeal to me as colours, and I could put them together and then overlaid with the little cartoon-esque pieces we spoke about earlier on, and it just gave it a rich colour. I just enjoyed it, and it made me laugh when I was working. It's the only time I've laughed when I got paid. Mind you, they didn't pay a lot. On the Friday night, we had the Frontline chart, I think it was, and on Saturdays we had the phone chart. All this was going on, and it gave me a direct insight as to what you wanted to listen to. Schoolie D. That guy sounds dangerous, doesn't he? Schoolie D, Saturday night. You know, it's 11 o'clock, and the streets are slick with rain. And he's driving in a long black limousine. And maybe he's sitting in the back, and he's got the window open a little bit, and you can just hear those beats just coming out. And he's on his way to what? Some sort of throwdown? But it's just got atmosphere dripping off of it. It's a social commentary. I love it. You're locked into The Basement on the One Extra Hip Hop Weekend. I'm Mike Allen, and coming up, even more bedrock tracks from the 80s.